Welcome to Not Starving Artist, the podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Benson, money coach and equity actor. I am your financial cheerleader, here to help you build your financial confidence and have power over your money. The best part, no budgeting or bi-weekly paychecks required. I went from being a broke BFA grad having weekly panic attacks about money to a financially confident, wealth-building actor and business owner. Money gets to feel fun, simple, and sexy, and I am going to show you how. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. We're going to talk about something that I haven't talked about specifically in a while, which is getting 3 months ahead on bills. Now, this is a core pillar of the tactical strategy that I teach all my clients, that I teach you how to do inside of my online course. It's a huge part of the anti-budget money strategy. It's a huge part of the money flow method. And I want to talk about why, and I want to talk about what this actually looks like, because getting 3 months ahead on bills is different than just having money in your savings account. It's different than having an emergency fund, and I'm going to explain why it's different and then how to tactically set it up differently. And the reason that getting 3 months ahead on bills is a core pillar inside of the money strategy I teach is because when you're 3 months ahead on bills, you show up in the world differently. The confidence that you have knowing that no matter what shit hits the fan over the next 3 months, that your rent and bills are paid for, that you can eat and you don't have to be on like a ramen noodle diet, like there is something that fundamentally shifts in you when you prove to yourself and you have the backing of like, I got myself ahead. I'm good no matter what. I did that for myself. And this feeling will come after just getting 1 month ahead on bills. Like you don't even have to get the full 3 months ahead on bills before this feeling starts to shift in you. I watched this. This is so funny. My partner uses the money flow method, right? Like we don't just talk the talk over here in the Benson household. We fucking walk the walk. So my man uses the money flow method, and we have our monthly financial money date together, our financial CEO party. We have them separately, but then we come together and like talk about our money, our goals, things that's going on, right? Because we have separate money flows, but a joint life. And so when we have separate money flows, we still want to come together and like we show each other our bank accounts. We make sure that we're still on the same page financially. Like we have that check-in every month. So it was so funny. He was going through like a bit of a restructuring with how his bank accounts were and like credit cards and things. So we were working through his money flow and we were getting him like back on track with like tactically, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, tactically how to move his money around so that he was a month ahead on bills in his bank account, and then in his checking account, and then in his savings account, he had a few more months of bills on deck waiting for him. That's the on deck buffer fund. But when he put all of his money in his checking accounts, and again, this is like the core money flow method strategy that I teach. This is the cash flow system that I teach, which is basically you fill up your bank accounts at the top of the month to support you for the rest of the month. So all of your bills and all of your food, groceries, entertainment, fun spending, all of that money is already there for you to spend at the top of the month. Okay? That is what it looks like when you're 1 month ahead on bills. So you've got like $2,500 in your firm checking account, which is what I call your like bills non-negotiable account. Your firm checking account has got $2,500 to pay your rent automatically, to pay your utilities bill automatically, right? All of those bills, subscriptions, Netflix, Max, all of that stuff. And then you have your next account, which is called your flex money. And that money is all your food, all your groceries, all your entertainment, all your purchases, all your shopping, all your show tickets, all your going out with friends money. And it's full. They're both full at the top of the month, the first of the month. So you know the entire month ahead of you is already taken care of. So as we set this up for my partner, and he sat there, and mind you, this man has been using the money flow method for a long time, right? But he was like, wow, like my month is really already paid for. I am already ahead for the month. Like this money, he was having like another moment about being a month ahead on bills, like in his checking accounts, and looking at that and the relief and the relaxation. He was like, I just feel so at ease knowing that I don't have to worry about the month coming up. And also, this man has a steady biweekly paycheck, right? So like, he's not worried about his income fluctuating either. But I'm sharing this with you to tell you that something fundamentally in you shifts when you see yourself just 1 month ahead on bills, when you see the money in your bank account to take care of you from the month ahead. And then that feeling only grows and gets accentuated when then you also have a savings account called your on deck buffer with 2 more months of bills sitting in it, waiting for you to pull them if you need to, okay? So you can see, you log into your bank account and you can visually see, I have 3 months ahead of me no matter what happens. Okay, so there's a couple of things, like a couple of reasons why this fundamentally shifts you and causes you to show up in the world differently. So the first thing is you give yourself time and breathing room. Now, I've talked about this a lot recently, about slowing down when it comes to money. And I think we're all collectively feeling this on a lot of different fronts, where we're so used to like rapid, now, immediate action, gotta buy it, gotta do it, SOS, like kind of in that panic mode. And in a lot of different realms, whether it's like, I have to get this thing because it's on sale right now. And if I don't, oh no, what's gonna happen, right? I need it now. Or to the effect of like, oh no, this headline just came out in the news. I have to take action now and go figure something out or do something about it or like feel about it or post about it because SOS, oh no, now. And what we're realizing on all of the fronts is that in order to have like sustainable longevity in this world, on this earth, we need to be able to like take a breath and breathe and come to stasis so that we can make decisions and take action from a place of peace, from a grounded place, not a place of frantic energy. Because no matter what, if there's any kind of franticness, and I also say this as someone who's like speed in life, my baseline is like a 7. Like I am hustling everywhere. I am doing things quickly. Like I do not like to pause and slow down and take a breath. Okay. So this is actually something that I have been trying to work on heavily, especially this year, where not just like in my money, but in my actual lifestyle, like making sure I have so much buffer time between each of my meetings, between like when I need to go downtown for an audition and when I need to get back to my apartment for a call, or, you know, my travel plans, making sure I have a day of buffer room in between when I get back and when I'm back at work. Like there's so much like spaciousness that I'm trying to give myself in order to slow down my internal calibration so that I can make more grounded decisions, so that I can think more clearly. And I think, like, again, if we're going big picture and meta with what's happening in America right now, right? Like what we're seeing, this authoritarian takeover, and we're seeing terrifying headlines every single day. I knew that as someone who has a bent towards anxiety, right? And will spiral into panic attacks, I needed to find a way to be able to breathe and slow down so that I could process the shit that's going to be coming at us for the next few years, right? Who knows how long this is going to be in front of us, but that was something that was very apparent to me. And the reason that I realized this so quickly is because I had to learn this with my money, right? I already had to learn this with my money because money works the same exact way, where you're going to make some chaotic, crazy decisions when you're panicked and stressed or in like that immediate buy it now, gotta have it now energy. Like there's scarcity that lives within speed. I want to say that again. Scarcity lives within speed. Abundance lives within slowness, okay? Because with speed, it's I'm gonna miss out. If I don't do it now, it won't happen, or I'm gonna miss something, or something bad is gonna happen, right? There's only one way for me to fix this problem or solve this feeling, and it needs to happen now, right? There's scarcity there, like it has to happen or else. When there's slowness, what comes from that is there will be something else. No matter what, I'm going to be able to figure this out. I am allowed to do what I need to do to take care of myself, and also everything's going to work out, right? I'm allowed to think about this because what's meant for me can't pass me by, right? Like all of the affirmations we love to say and think, they are all entrenched with slowness, right? With breath, with taking a fucking beat, okay? And so how this applies to being 3 months ahead on bills is because I see so many people, right, being at the break-even place, the paycheck to paycheck place. Now, when you're breaking even, when you're paycheck to paycheck, all that means is that the money that is coming in, like I'm recording this right now in the month of February, right on the cusp of March. The month that is coming in right now at the end of February is the money that is currently paying for the month of February, right? So I see a lot of people who like spend money on their credit card, and even though they are able to pay off their credit card in full every month, they have to wait for that paycheck on the 1st of March, or that paycheck that's coming in at the beginning of March, to be able to pay off the money they spent in February, right? Or the money that's coming in at the beginning of the month in February is the money that's paying for rent at the beginning of February. There's like this, there's this immediacy, there's this urgentness where it's like, oh no, if that check doesn't clear, if that client payment doesn't come through, if that gig doesn't pan out or has a delay in their payment, or if my, payroll system, if you are on a 9 to 5, if my payroll system is late, like I'm screwed. That kind of urgency is going to have you not being able to think clearly about your money, not being able to have that like relaxed breath. Everyone talks about nervous system regulation these days, but yet you're putting yourself in a financial place that is constantly deregulating your nervous system. Now, also, I always have to say this caveat, but I feel like it's important to say. There's two things at play here. We have the meta, big picture, systemic issues. Minimum wage has stagnated. We have people at the top. I mean, it's on the fucking world stage right now. It's on our national stage where there are people who are hoarding money at the top that is actively hurting people who are not in that 1% or like the 0.02%, right, at the top. We know that artists aren't monetarily valued like other professions. We also know that there's wage gaps, right? Wage theft. Like there's so many things that are happening systemically, okay? And there is stuff that you do have control over. There is how you manage the money that's currently coming into you right now. And if you don't like the money that's coming into you right now, you have the autonomy to be able to change it. Okay. And those get to be empowering things, not shameful things. So I just wanted to say that very clearly, because when we're talking about getting 3 months ahead on bills, it's so that you have the kind of autonomy and confidence and peace in order to like think big picture on how you want to play this rigged game, right, that has been foisted upon you. So we're acknowledging that the game is rigged, and also it's now your job to figure out how to play the rigged game, okay? That's what personal finance is. You all realize that, right? Like personal finance is not like this moral thing that every good person should do. Like the core of personal finance is because our needs are not easily and collectively met. And so it's been thrust on us the responsibility to make sure we take care of ourselves financially, where, I could go down a wormhole there. But like when we're talking about personal finance, I just want to be very clear about that's why personal finance is your responsibility, but it's not like you are not the core problem, right? Systemically. Okay, so back to 3 months ahead on bills. So when we're talking about getting 3 months ahead on bills, you are allowing yourself to be in a place where you can breathe for a hot minute right? If like 1 month, right, the check doesn't clear, the client payment doesn't come through, the income you thought you were going to make fluctuated more than you thought it was going to. When those things happen, you don't immediately go into SOS panic and start to like see red, see blur, and start making crazy moves, start moving mad because you're stressed that you're not going to be able to pay rent next month, right? What happens when you give yourself a month of buffer, when you give yourself a month ahead, when you get yourself 3 months ahead, is that if something crazy happens 1 month, you're able to sit back for a second and you're able to be like, okay, let me put like my logical financial CEO hat on. And let me ask myself, was this a fluke? Is this a pattern? Okay, I'm going to look at my bank accounts and I see that I have enough money to get me through the next 3 months. But do I see this being a problem over the course of the next few months where I need to course correct? And if then that's the case, then you've now given yourself space and time to course correct, right? So you don't have to go out there and start moving mad and start moving crazy. Now, there is a time and a place to be moving mad. For those of you who are my clients who have access to my video training portal, there is a training in it called Make an Extra $500 a Month, and it's the 3M method. And the third M is moving mad, right? So there is a time and a place to move mad, but it is not when you're stressed about your rent or like fluctuating income that has you making some crazy moves. I want you to be able to give yourself breath. Now, this is where I like come back to nervous system regulation, because one of the most regulating things you can do for yourself is give yourself something practical and tangible that you can look at. I'm like pointing at my computer screen right now. You can look at your computer screen at your bank account and be like, I have 3 months of bills sitting in my account. And then you can do your EFT tapping. Then you can do your somatic work. You can tap on the fact that you can literally tap while you are looking at your 3 months ahead on bills fund. Tap as you are doing your somatic work, as you are doing your breath work, and look at your 3 months ahead on bills account. You can look at your on deck buffer. There is something about having tangible, practical things that you can point to while you're doing emotional, physical, mental work around your money. That's what makes it feel like you're not just this crazy delusional person, right? And yes, there is some delusion that is required when you are getting 3 months ahead on bills. Because I'm sure if you're not 3 months ahead on bills right now, that thought might feel crazy to you. Of like, are you kidding me, Brooke? I am literally barely scraping by month to month to month. How on earth am I going to get 3 months ahead on bills? Great question. Can we actually try and answer that question? This is what I do with my clients all the time. They'll like say a rhetorical question that's like meant to be really like frustrating and like annoying. I'm like, answer that. How would you answer that? Okay, Brooke, I'm barely scraping by. So how on earth am I supposed to get 3 months ahead on bills? Okay, let's try and answer that question. Like if you were to talk back to your brain, okay, how on earth am I supposed to get 3 months ahead on bills if I'm barely scraping by? Great. So like, let's go to bare bones. Do you have an eye on your money? Right? In a way that makes sense to you. Like, do you understand what you're spending every single month? Do you just like know your baseline numbers of what's coming in and what's going out? Do you have that routine of communing with your money at a monthly money date? Are you checking in on, like, if you spend most of your money on a credit card, are you checking in on your credit card balance every couple of days just to like see what the numbers are? Okay, so that would be the first step, right? So I want you to get used to talking back to your brain without, like, don't take your brain's word for it right away. Like you're letting the like inner critic or like the inner, my version, like my anxiety, she sounds like my 12-year-old self who's stressed about everything. So like you're letting the 12-year-old anxious version of you be like, SOS, do the thing, get away. I don't know. Like, how on earth are we supposed to get 3 months ahead on bills if we're just breaking even? And it's like, okay, can we take a seat? Let's actually work through it. You can talk back to your brain. So as you're talking back to your brain, you can say, well, like, first, let's figure out a way to navigate this, to like even figure out what's going on. Like, are we actually breaking even, or is there a different money leak? If you want to go back and listen to 2 weeks ago's podcast, there's a podcast called How to Diagnose Your Biggest Money Leak. Go diagnose your biggest money leak. Figure out which one it is and then start there. Like, do you even know what the actual problem is? Is it income? Is it spending? Is it organization? Or is it mindset? I give you the whole breakdown in that episode. So figure out what your biggest money leak is. And then be like, okay, well, how on earth am I supposed to solve that? Okay, how on earth are you supposed to solve that, right? And then we can like make a list of things. So do you see how this process even is like slowing down? Do you see how slowness is part of this like abundant financial wellness decision-making process? You have to slow down and talk back to your brain. You have to slow down in order to give yourself space to make grounded decisions, right? Okay, so let me go back to getting 3 months ahead on bills now. When I talk about like making crazy money moves when you're in a frantic place, when you're in that like break even paycheck to paycheck place, what happens when you get 3 months ahead on bills is that when you're in that stressed place, you might take any kind of job that comes your way that gives you money, even if it sucks your soul, even if it's with someone you hate, even if it's a script that makes you want to crawl out of your skin, right? There might be things that come along that you feel like you have to say yes to, even though you know they are totally not aligned. But it's because you're in the place of like, well, fuck, I don't know how I'm going to make rent next month. But when you're 3 months ahead on bills, you can look now 3 months down a tunnel and be like, okay, I actually like this script makes me want to crawl out of my skin. And I know it's going to pay me like a good stipend, but I cannot sign my heart off on that thing. And I know that I can pay my rent next month, whether or not this specific stipend clears. So I'm going to say no. Like I get to follow my gut, and trust my heart. All right. So this brings us to my next point of why getting 3 months ahead on bills has you showing up and moving differently throughout the world. When you are 3 months ahead on bills, your gut intuition is so much clearer. When you are in a frantic place, your gut can't talk to you. I had a client who for those of you who are into human design, she's a generator with a sacral authority. That's what I am as well. But for her, she was in such a place of stress and burnout that she was like, I literally cannot hear my intuition. I have absolutely no idea what my gut wants to tell me. Like, I don't know what to do. And I think that's one of the scariest feelings for so many people, but specifically for people who used to have really strong gut intuitions and they feel like they've lost it. I have had phases in my life where I feel like I've lost touch with my gut, and it is absolutely terrifying. Like that thought of I don't know is really scary. And when you're not in a place to be able to sit with the I don't know and then have your gut talk to you again, it's so terrifying to then have to like make decisions without being able to give yourself the space to sit and figure out what you actually need to do, what you're feeling called to do. And so this client, what we were working on was like, okay, so how do we get your gut to talk to you again? Like when you're feeling cloudy, where's the cloud coming from? And we did like a lot of mindset work in our coaching calls to get to the root of things. And what we had to do is we got her 3 months ahead on bills, and then we spliced out her money so she could basically like live a year without any new income, right? And she had those months on deck. But then we had to coach on actually believing that that money was there to support her month after month after month. It like felt too good to be true. You also might experience that when you get 3 months ahead on bills. You're like, am I allowed to rely on this money? Like this feels too good to be true that I'm not stressed about paying rent next month. Or not that you might not even be stressed about paying rent next month, but in the back of your brain, you're like, you know, you don't have the money in your bank account yet and that it's coming next week, but it's not there yet. Like again, that it's small and it's subtle, but it does something to you when you can see that money already in the bank threefold. Okay. So this client, what she was able to do is we had to coach on like actually believing that that money was there to support her. And by no surprise, her gut intuition came back. Her gut started talking to her again. And these nudges that she was feeling, they like didn't really make sense to her, but she was like, this is what I feel to do. And she wouldn't have been able to hear that or even like come up with some of these ideas in her brain while she was stressed. Like these ideas weren't even the like normal things that she was swirling around and deciding between. It was when she cleared all that out by giving herself space of knowing her rent was paid for at least a year, where she was like, ooh, I kind of feel the urge to do this crazy thing, to move, to do this new job, to maybe do this in the future, right? It started talking to her again. So you free up space for your intuition to speak louder to you when you are 3 months ahead on bills, because you are not in that moment to moment immediacy, okay? What this also does, it also clears space for you to be thinking a little bit bigger picture. Which I think, as we all are getting older, right? And like going through this like societal shitstorm that we are in the middle of right now, I think a lot of us are getting a little existential with our thinking. And sometimes it's hard to like really go there and sit there with the questions of like, why am I here? What am I doing? What do I want to be doing? What's my calling? Am I on the path to my calling? Am I happy? Some of these big existential questions you can't think about when you're in that immediate moment to moment with your money and with your life, right? Clocking in, clocking out, gotta go to this audition. Okay, I gotta get this client because I gotta make this payment, and then, and then I'm gonna be able to pay my rent. Like there's an immediacy that then shields you from being able to sit with those big picture questions, right? And I think that's also, I've talked with some clients about this as well, that when their money started to feel like less of a problem because they implemented the money flow method, they did some like core mindset work on their like foundational root beliefs around money. And then their debt payoff plans, their savings plans, their investing plans were easy and inevitable, right? That's how I teach you to hit your money goals. They're easy and inevitable. They're running in the background. They're automated, right? So then what happens when you're not having to like budget and spreadsheet your life away, when your money goals are being hit and you feel like financially well, there's a calm and a peace that actually kind of starts to feel eerie, because it's like, I'm not used to feeling like money is a non-issue, and it's kind of terrifying what starts to come up now that my money is not an issue, because some of that existential stuff does start to come to the surface because now you have space and time to think about it, right? But those are the questions. Those are the questions that sitting with and answering them are actually going to lead to way more life fulfillment and soaking the most juice out of this most precious time on earth that you have. Why do we always get here? Every time I think I'm just going to talk about like cute little get 3 months ahead on bills, cute little money organization, it always comes back to this, because working on your money will never not lead to like the big picture goals of your life. Because at the end of the day, if we don't know where you want to go and what you need in order to figure out where you want to go, then what the fuck are we doing here, right? I'm not just trying to get you like cute little 3 months ahead on bills because it's like fun and nice just in case of emergencies. No, I want you to get 3 months ahead on bills because it allows you the space and the time to actually figure out what the fuck you want. That if something isn't working, you have time to adjust and then make it something that does work for you long term, so that you don't have to frantically take a job or work with someone that does not feel good to you just because you need the money. Life is too fucking short for that. That's why I want you 3 months ahead on bills. Why do I want you to sit down with your money once a month and organize your money with the money flow method so that you can spend less time thinking about your money, have more in your bank accounts so that you can go do more of the shit that you were put on this earth to do? Okay? Why do I want you to learn how to invest and invest in a retirement account and then some? So that you can have even more autonomy when you are in your later years in life. And you can back that timeline up with more investing. Like that could happen sooner than normal retirement age, because I want you to have the autonomy to choose the exact kind of lifestyle that you want to live in your final 30 years. Because I want you to have full autonomy over your life as soon as possible to get off the capitalistic hamster wheel that we are on. That is what investing does for you. It's not just a cute like, oh yeah, retirement, but like that doesn't really mean much. It's so like I won't be poor and in poverty when I get to retirement age. No, this is about your autonomy. This is about your quality of life in your last third of your lifetime, of your one precious life on this earth. This is where money is always going to lead us, right? So like all of these small things that you do with your money build up and are the foundations of you having full life, creative, financial autonomy. That's what this is all leading to. Getting 3 months ahead on bills, paying off debt, fully funding an emergency fund, switching banks, investing and maxing out a retirement account. organizing your money, monthly financial CEO parties, all of this stuff. And then of course the mindset work, all of this stuff is so that money no longer is an issue for you and no longer feels like the thing that is holding you back from the life you are truly meant to live. That's why you're getting 3 months ahead on bills. That's why you're doing it. Seriously, it's so funny. I've been doing this so long, and every single time I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this like little tactical episode to like really explain what 3 months ahead on bills is and like how to get there. And then we always end up here with, can you all tell that I've been sitting in existential questions these past few months? Because that's where we need to sit more. I think this is what we are all like realizing right now, is that we've all kind of been heads down in like our day-to-day and the immediacy, like in whatever realms. Like for me, day-to-day work life and like auditions and being here in New York, things just move so fast, right? You can just like get so swept up in that day-to-day. And me intentionally choosing to bring slowness into my day-to-day lifestyle has brought up a lot of these questions, right? Getting your money shit together is going to help bring up all of these questions. And also, just on a side note, it fucking feels good to not be stressed about paying rent next month. It feels so fucking good to not have to worry about a check clearing from a client. It feels so good to not have to worry about like, you know, I got, when I was doing a commercial back in December, they were like 20, 30 days late on sending their payment to me. I wasn't stressed one bit, right? I was like, yeah, I'm going to send my emails and do my due diligence, but this crazy company is not going to be the thing that is going to determine my ability to feel calm and peaceful about my money this month, right? No job, no company, no organization should make you feel that way. That's what getting 3 months ahead on bills does for you. So I'm so excited to tell you that the online self-study version of Cashed Up Creatives has officially been released. As of today, you can go and do the entire video curriculum that all of my one-on-one private money mentorship clients get to go through and work on. You can go do it yourself today, right now. Okay, I'll give you some details about how the course actually works. So there's 5 modules. The first one is becoming a Cashed Up Creative. So it's a lot of the mindset, the thought work stuff, creating your Cashed Up manifesto. Then we've got Finances 101, which is the full financial education that your college never gave you. And all of those videos in the Finances 101 module are less than an hour long, like total, right? So it's not going to take you that long to learn all of the core financial fundamentals that you need to learn. The third, this is like part 2 of the second module, is walkthroughs. So I screen share and walk you through, like virtually hold your hand as I walk you through how to research and open a new bank account, how to research and open a new credit card and what to look for, different options, and then how to open a retirement account and what to literally click on your screen to make an investment, and like examples of different funds that you can invest in, right? That's all in there in the walkthroughs. And then we've got module number 3, which is the meat of the program. This is the anti-budget money strategy. This is the 4-step process to having a way to manage your money that does not involve budgets or spreadsheets. So the first step is understanding your baseline numbers. The second step is creating a cash flow system. That's the money flow method. If you've heard me talk about the money flow method, that's a cash flow system. I walk you through exactly how to set it up and how to make things flow through your bank accounts. And then we've got a training on how to manage it all in less than 1 hour a month. So that's your financial CEO party, your financial CEO party checklist. There's a 4-step process in there. And then the fourth one is how to manage fluctuating income, how to use your high months to buffer your low income months. So that's then how you don't need a biweekly paycheck in order for this to work and bring you financial stability. So with that, then I also have example videos where I actually have visuals of how your bank accounts would look during your financial CEO party, throughout the month, at the end of the month, and then how you'd fill it back up. And I have different walkthroughs for fluctuating income, for consistent income if you're a biweekly paycheck person, and if you're running a business. So you have different examples there. And then the next module is spending, saving, and sustaining. So this is a lot about how to spend money guilt-free, how to save money without pinching pennies. It talks about the money seasons. There's a lot of reframing the way you think about how you utilize your dollars inside of this training. And it also talks a lot about how to curb impulse spending and also how to buy yourself things and soak the most joy out of your money while you actually are spending less money. So feeling like you're spending more while you're actually spending less. And then the final module is paying off debt with ease. So this is how to actually create a debt payoff plan that will inevitably create success, right? Where it's happening in the background, where you don't have to worry about like, will I be able to stick with this? It's about releasing debt shame. I gave you some exercises of how to make debt payoff feel simpler and lighter. And then I also am going to give you an example of how to actually use a debt payoff plan like inside of the money flow method, how to plug in a debt payoff plan into the money flow method that I teach you in the third module. So you can go and start that course right now. It's $247. You pay it once and you have lifetime access to this course. So you can access these videos anytime. And the bonus, I was almost about to forget to tell you this. For the rest of 2025, anyone who buys the course from now until the end of 2025, you're going to get monthly office hours with me. So I am going to get on a live Zoom room every single month, and anyone who's purchased the course, you can jump into that live Zoom room and ask me questions and get coached every single month. And I'm only doing this through the rest of 25. So through 2025. So the earlier you join, the more office hours you're going to get with me. Okay. So our first office hours call is March 18th. So if you join before March 18th, you're going to be able to hop on that coaching call. And that means then you'll have 10 office hours calls with me for $247 and a full curriculum that you're gonna have forever. So I'm gonna link the checkout link, the sales page in the show notes so you can go learn more about it. I have testimonials on there. I have a whole breakdown of the curriculum so you can see what exact videos are inside of it. I'm gonna talk more through who it's for and what you can expect from the course so you can go learn more about it there. And I really hope to see you inside, and I hope to see you on our first office hours call in March. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always email support@notstarvingartist.com, send me a DM. I am so excited to get you 3 months ahead on bills. That's a huge part of what we do inside of this curriculum. I have a whole training on what getting 3 months ahead on bills looks like and how to do it. And if you're already 3 months ahead on bills, what you should focus on. If you are living paycheck to paycheck and don't have any extra money, how to get 3 months ahead on bills. I talk about how to get 3 months ahead on bills in like so many different situations. So it's walking you through, no matter what you're going through, here's your pathway to get 3 months ahead on bills so that you can have that autonomy, so you can have that breath, so you can have that peace and ease. Like, God fucking knows we need more of that in our life. So like, let's let your money not be another stressor with like all of the stressors we can't control. Let's make money one that you can. Thanks so much for tuning in. Come join me on Instagram for more on how to build a simple, sexy relationship with your money. My Instagram handle is @NotStarvingArtists. And if you want to dive deeper with me, head to the show notes to learn more about one-on-one coaching. If you love this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend that you want to get rich with.